In recent weeks, bold statements from California and New York officials have drawn national attention, sparking debate about the very foundation of the relationship between states and the federal government. At the heart of the discussion is a provocative idea. Could a state, or even a major city, withhold its share of federal tax payments as a form of political protest or leverage? It's a question that goes beyond mere policy, touching the core of American federalism and the rule of law. California Governor Gavin Newsom ignited this conversation when he floated the idea of withholding California's considerable federal tax payments, estimated between $80 and $83 billion annually. The suggestion came as a direct response to threats from the Biden administration to cut federal funding for crucial areas, including university grants and wildfire relief. Newsom's proposal was presented as a potential bargaining chip, a way for California to assert its influence against what it views as politically motivated federal actions. But while the idea certainly captured headlines and energized supporters, seasoned legal experts and state analysts were quick to point out a harsh reality. California, no matter how large its economy or how passionate its leaders, cannot simply intercept or redirect federal tax payments. The process for paying federal taxes is straightforward and uniform across the United States. Individuals and businesses remit their federal taxes directly to the Internal Revenue Service, bypassing state governments entirely. There is no mechanism, legal or procedural, for a state to step in and withhold those payments. The courts have consistently rejected similar attempts at so-called nullification, where states try to invalidate or ignore federal laws or obligations within their borders. The Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution makes clear that federal law takes precedence, and any effort by a state to block federal tax collection would not only be struck down in court, but could also trigger severe legal consequences for those involved. This was underscored by the response from Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, who publicly rebuked the idea. He warned that any attempt to halt the flow of federal taxes from a state would amount to criminal tax evasion, a serious offense that could leave businesses, payroll officials, and even state agents personally liable. The risks are not theoretical. Federal tax law is enforced by powerful agencies with a track record of pursuing violations vigorously. A similar story unfolded in New York, where mayoral primary candidates, including Michael Blake and Jessica Ramos, suggested that New York City might withhold federal tax payments as a negotiation tactic. The proposal was raised during a recent debate, reflecting the level of frustration some local leaders feel toward federal policies. Yet, just as in California, the legal and logistical barriers are insurmountable. There is simply no way for a city or state to step between taxpayers and the IRS. Any individual or business that unilaterally decides to stop paying federal taxes exposes themselves to audits, penalties, and even criminal prosecution. In summary, while the rhetoric of withholding federal taxes makes for compelling political theater, the reality is clear. Neither California nor New York, nor any other state or city, can legally stop the flow of federal tax dollars. These ideas, however dramatic, are mostly symbolic expressions of discontent, tools for political signaling, not genuine threats to the federal fiscal system. Such proposals do highlight enduring tensions in American federalism, where states sometimes find themselves at odds with the federal government. But when it comes to taxes, the law is settled, and the consequences for defiance are steep. For now, the talk of withholding federal taxes remains just that, talk, with no practical path to implementation. If you're interested in staying informed about the latest developments on this issue and similar stories, consider supporting our channel. Your support helps us deliver accurate news, in-depth analysis, and timely updates on topics that matter to you. By subscribing and engaging with our content, you ensure you'll never miss important follow-ups or expert insights as this situation evolves. Join our community and be the first to know about future updates and breaking news.